Welcome to this week's edition of Friday Fuel. My name is Tiffany Lyman, and I'm going to be your host for this segment. The Business Fuel series is hosted by myself as well as my co host, Sarah Nickelberry. You can learn more about myself and Sarah and also interact with us on our Facebook group, which is located at www.yourbusinessfuel.com. Friday Fuel is your weekly resource that provides you with tools, techniques, and trends that will help you to keep your business moving forward. You can see this segment as well as the previous segments of Friday Fuel by going to www.fridayfuel.com. If you're viewing this video in a social media browser, I highly recommend that you also go ahead and visit the website because many times we post different links and other content above and below the video. So you want to make sure that you have access to that information. So let's get started for today. One of the questions that we hear a lot when it comes to business management and business management as it relates to social media is that people need more time. So, this tool that we're going to talk to you about today is going to help you to get a little bit more time, especially when you are interacting online. Now, before we go forward, just want to remind you of something that you'll hear a lot in our Business Fuel program, and that is that strategies come before tools. So, if you use the right tools that help you to execute your strategy, then you will be able to do more in less time. However, if you just decide that you're going to use a lot of different tools or maybe the wrong tools, what that's going to result in is actually you using more time and a waste of time and a decrease in efficiency. So it's only the right tools that are helping you to execute the right strategy that are going to give you the results that you're looking for. So make sure you start with your strategy first before you start installing a bunch of tools. Tools we're going to talk to you about today are ones that are going to help you to enhance your browser and to improve your online experience. So, tools that help you to enhance your browser are called bookmarklets, add ons, extensions, and plugins. Bookmarklets are universal across the platforms. Add-ons, extensions, and plugins are pretty much the exact same thing, except they're called something different depending on which browser you're using. So if you're using Firefox, for example, they're going to be called add-ons. But if you're using Chrome, they're called extensions. What these tools are things that will help you, again, to make your online experience go a lot faster and smoother. So they help you to save time by allowing you to be able to use one click to access an application versus having to toggle between your browser and the actual application. It also helps you to minimize distractions. So every time you multitask and move from one tab to another or from one application to another, then you run the risk of becoming distracted because your eyes might focus on something else, you might remember something else, and then all of a sudden you realize 20 minutes has passed and you're way off track of where you started. So if you're able to stay on one page, that will help you to minimize distractions, which then leads into increased efficiency. And then finally, you'll be able to capture your thoughts. So sometimes when you're online, you'll be able to see something that grabs your eye or reminds you of a task that you wanted to do. And you want to write that down. Instead of writing it down on a little sticky note or something that you might not be able to find later, you put it in a Word document, but you don't remember where you saved it or even that you saved it. If you want to make sure that you place it in the application that you typically use when you're writing out your task, then having that application saved in your bookmark bar or installed in your browser will help you to capture those thoughts and then be able to recall them when the time is right. Here's an example of how you would use one of these tools. The particular tool I'm about to use right now is the Evernote bookmarklet. And I'm just using Evernote because that's something that we have referenced in prior sessions. So in this case, what I'm doing is I'm online and I have found a book that looks pretty interesting. And I want to add this book to my book list in Evernote. So If I was using the traditional way, not using any browser enhancements, what I would need to do is go into my bar, copy copy the link for the book, open Evernote or launch it from my desktop, and then I would need to create a note, paste that URL into that note, and then return back to my browser. Now you see when I opened up Evernote, it automatically went to my recipes section. I guess this is where I was last time. So it went right to that section. Well, so now I open this and all of a sudden I see these recipes. Totally not something that I was looking at. This might make me remember that I need to go to the grocery store. It might remind me that I'm hungry, or it just might have me go and get distracted and start looking up other recipes. So if I can avoid having to come over here and look at all these other potential distractions, then I'll probably be able to remain more focused. So let's look at this task in a different way. If I have the Evernote bookmarklet in my browser, or my bookmark bar, so you see that here, I have the little elephant and it's in my bookmark bar. When I click on it, it opens up the Evernote web clipper. Now what happens is the link is automatically copied into a note. A note is automatically created with the link in it, and it grabs the title of the page and it makes that the title of the note. I can change it or I can leave it there. What I can also do from this little web clipper is I can choose the notebook that this note goes into, I can choose the tags, and I can even add a comment. If I don't want to save just the URL, I can also choose with the little drop down box over here to save the article, which is the text that's on the page, to save the entire page, which is the text and the formatting, or again, just to save the URL. So I do have choices, and it's the same choices that I was able to do in Evernote, but without the distractions and in less steps. Some things to consider before you go and start adding all of these bookmarklets and or add-ons to your browser and to your bookmark bar. I want to talk to you about the differences, first of all, between the bookmarklets and the browser extensions. Bookmarklets usually require less storage space just because the code that's used to create them is smaller and different than the extensions. They also require less CPU. So the bookmarklets are only active when you click on the link in the bookmark bar. When you click off the link, they're no longer active anymore. They're sort of like mini sites that appear in the middle of a page. When you click off of it, you're no longer on that site anymore. The add-ons or the extensions are actually operating in the background. When you open your browser, because they're integrated and they've been installed in your browser, they actually open up with your browser. So whether you're using it or not, it's taken up some of your memory, which is going to slow down the speed of your computer. Bookmarklets are also cross-browser, so they're not installed in the browser, they're actually installed as a bookmark. So if you were to import your bookmarks from browser to browser, it would bring your bookmarklets along with it. The extensions, though, are browser specific, so you have to install it using the version that is compatible with your browser, and if you switch to another browser, you have to reinstall it. And because it is an installation, it takes more time to actually install it, and you may have to restart your browser to get it to work once you've installed it. Bookmarklets are a simple drag and drop right into the bookmark bar, and then they work. Finally, in terms of a difference, I want to talk about conflict. So bookmarklets, because they only are activated when you click on them, very small risk of conflict because you typically are not going to have two operating at the same time. But because when you open up your browser, it automatically launches these extensions, sometimes you'll have conflicting installs. So one extension is going to compromise the way that another works, or working together, they could cause your browser to crash. So really pay attention and make sure again that you're only installing the tools that are not going to affect the stability of your browser, not going to take up too much of your CPU, and there are ones that you're really going to use, the ones that you need. Now, extensions and plugins aren't all bad. They typically will give you a more advanced function. So the reason why they take up more space, why you have to install them, is because they tend to be more advanced than the bookmarklets. Bookmarklets are very quick things that you want to do, kind of one click, one and done things. Whereas the add-ons for the extensions, they are a lot more complex. So when you're looking up something, you can determine whether or not you really just need the bookmarklet or do you need something that has a little bit more meat to it. On this slide, I've listed some common bookmarklets that these are ones that I use, and I've seen these on a lot of different recommended pages. So these are some that you might want to start out with just to see how they work. I'm not going to go through these because I've listed all of these along with the links to install them if you choose to on the FridayFuel.com page right below this video. Finally, I just want to let you know how to find these browser enhancements. So first you can start at the web application site. So I'll use Evernote again. If you're on the Evernote website and you want to know if they have a bookmarklet, just type bookmarklet or add-on into their search bar and see what comes up. Sometimes it's under the tools section. Or you can do a Google search. Type in Evernote bookmarklet, Evernote web clipper, and you'll see that it'll take you to the link. Another thing you can do is search your browser's homepage. If you're using Firefox, go right to the Firefox homepage, firefox.com, and look for the add-ins menu bar. Click on that, and you can search and look through all of the different add-ons that they have. And all of the other browsers have that same capability. So you can find these enhancements in all types of different places. When you sign up for a new software web application, now you can know that you can do an extra step during your sign-on stage to see if they have any tools or add-ons that you can install right into your browser. So that brings us to the end of our segment for this week. Remember that our conversations don't end at the segment, they actually just begin here. We continue these conversations in our Facebook group, answer any questions that you have, and then go a little bit deeper, providing you with additional examples or additional tools. So definitely make sure you join us in Facebook. And our link again is www.yourbusinessfuel.com. If you have questions that you would like to submit, you can submit those to fuel@pearlsinpursuit.com, or you can send us a tweet using the hashtag BizFuel. So until next week, I just want to remind you to stay fueled, to stay engaged, and stay in motion.